What is something yeah sure everyone is just pretending to like. Flat earth theory. I don't believe you. You don't really think that. You're pretending for the sake of obstinacy. I don't believe in flat earthers. It's a conspiracy to get us to doubt ourselves as a species. Show me a real flat earther. That's obviously an actor. This is a genius approach. Love it. I low-key think about that a lot. I wonder if all the stupid shit I hear about people doing / believing is made up so general. The population does not actually get stupid. I have done a bit of research into this from an anthropological point of view here at the university, where I teach. 4. All of the obvious ignorance and attempts at provoking others. There does seem to be among the hardcore burly-verse a genuine attempt at reclaiming a sensorial view of reality. In other words, senses tell us. The chair and table in front of us may look lower solid, but science tells us that it is actually mostly empty space. So, for some flat earth fundamentalists, their theory is the line they have drawn in the sand. Their eyes tell the world around them is flat, and by declaring that they are in effect telling modernity and its scientific worldview that they want to completely give up the authority of their own senses. This concept is something I have heard some scientists explain as the result of human understanding reaching the end of intuitive knowledge. All new scientific advances in every field will now come through such sophisticated, expert level research that we have to trust it completely from here on out without truly understanding it unless it is your particular field of study and you're at a doctoral level in it. That can be scary. That is why in all those threads like if you went back in time 10,000 years what would you invent? To be real, the correct answer is always nothing, because no one understands anything enough to be able to replicate it. No one can make the internet or phones from scratch independently. 10,000 years. You went an order of magnitude too far in your hyperbole. You definitely know enough to invent something 10,000 years ago. Sure. Nobody could single-handedly invent the internet or a phone, but if you know a little bit of history, you could invent *lot*. Most people probably don't know that decent musical notation wasn't invented until about 1000. And it is fundamentally similar today, so even if you only knew a little about sheet music, you could probably figure something out just by having absorbed modern culture. Even if you've never seen sheet music or have any idea how it works, you could invent the concept of zero as a possible number depending on where you are. You don't even have to be a math-minded person. You know enough about zero just by being a modern person. You could also invent boiling as a way to disinfect water and objects. That would be revolutionary 10,000 years ago. There is quite a bit that even a very average person could probably invent. It's not the wild and crazy advances, it's the things we take for granted. You don't have to be able to enumerate the details to plant the ideas. If you could answer questions a 5-year-old would ask about the world honestly, you could invent a lot of shit 10,000 years ago. Well, maybe. Realistically, I'd probably end up killing myself if I was transported back in time 10,000 years, since I'm so accustomed to modern comforts that I simply don't have the endurance to tolerate the toil of ancient life, and I've absorbed enough philosophy to know that life really isn't worth that hassle. When we are talking about how string theory requires 11 spatial dimensions, then sure, I get that, but the earth being round, come on, it's both easy to understand and easy enough to prove yourself. That's what bugs me about flat earth. Humanity knew that the earth was round 4,000 of years before what we recognize as the. There are multiple lines of evidence that random people can follow to discover this fact. Moon landing hoaxes are annoying, but at least we know that the tricks they claim were used to create the footage can be done, even if the techniques hadn't been invented back when we went to the moon. With flat earth, they don't have a model that explains the facts. They just say that no evidence can prove them wrong. Thank you for teaching me a new word. God, no kidding. I am like a Robstein. Flat earth so good. I'm fairly certain that did start as a joke and was picked up and spread by others, especially the Discordians. Unfortunately, there's ended up being more than a few who took it seriously. This may be a myth, but I remember reading somewhere that one of the original flat earth clubs was a debate club. The idea was debate issues with such an obvious right answer that people would focus. This may be a myth, but I remember reading somewhere that one of the original flat earth clubs was a debate club. The idea was debate issues with such an obvious right answer that people would focus on technique and debate strategy. This would make a lot of sense. Like how saying I'm a flat earther would mean something along the lines of I'm in a debate team practicing to get super good at Minecraft, and then people lost the whole we're debating a joke thing. I've had an experience meeting someone who wholeheartedly believed in flat earth. Once he started going, he didn't even let me get a word in for almost 10 minutes about how one day we are all gonna get enslaved by the aliens and whatnot. It was a freaking roller coaster. He was definitely not on a debate team. This may be a myth, but I remember reading somewhere that one of the original flat earth clubs was a debate club. The idea was debate issues with such an obvious right answer that people would focus on technique and debate strategy. This would make a lot of sense. Like how saying I'm a flat earther would mean something along the lines of I'm in a debate team practicing to get super good at Minecraft, and then people lost the whole we're debating a joke thing. I've had an experience meeting someone who wholeheartedly believed in flat earth. Once he started going, he didn't even let me get a word in for almost 10 minutes about how one day we are all gonna get enslaved by the aliens and whatnot. It was a freaking roller coaster. He was definitely not on a debate team. Shitty cliche Reddit responses they've seen hundreds of times. It's like people here have some sort of reflex where they have to upvote certain phrases no matter how stale or annoying they are. I also choose this guy's response. Underrated comment. This deserves more upvotes. How is this not at the top? Me sometimes. This or no vertical bar every time I question my close friends and it is like do you really like me or are you pretending to like me cause I have told you my life story oh bro. I feel exactly this way too. I was pretty much a popular loner, and when my now friends invited me to be a part of their group, still feel like they just pity me because of being a loner, and now because of my story. I am bad about it too vertical bar I am, like I know there is an endgame. It is quite destructive to think about honestly. I just cross my fingers and hope that these our close friends so I have made stay and honored wander. Often anyway, I have had such friends just leave me and no longer talk to me. I have met people at certain points in my life that once a certain time hits they no longer communicate, or rather I honor it, and I just go on with life. All of this gestures vaguely. But you just gestured to all of me, AHH. A fellow dragon trainer of high stature. I see. Asterisk HICCUPS asterisk. Like and share. 1 like equals 1 prayer. No Rebecca, you don't really care about this family slash child slash person. Etc. Stop pretending. If you don't like and share little Timaya's sympathy post, Jesus Christ himself will come down from heaven and personally obliterate Timmy and his family. Jesus on his computer. Like oh well sorry little Billy. That Facebook post did not get enough likes, so Yawa dying Tordahoyo. Shows like Masked Singer and the like. It might be fun if there was like a condensed version or something. They just spent a long blabbing on about who it might be and just name dropping countless celebs in between performances. Yeah. I will say it's fun. I just watch the performances, skip ads and the judges, and then watch the end reveal. Other PR players' kids. I definitely don't pretend to like other people's kids. I don't know why. Being around other people's kids weirds me out. Like, I have a daughter, and I love spending time with her, but I want nothing to do with anybody else's kids, and people get so offended you don't want to be around their kids. No Karen, I don't appreciate your kids dancing and singing at this adult function, where I want to adult and not pay attention to your stupid kid and praise their shitty dancing and singing. This is why I never post pictures, show pictures, or amble on about my kid IRL/online. If someone enthusiastically asks, I'll consider it. He's a baby. He looks like a baby. He does baby things. Weirdly enough, I am kind of the other way around on this. No plans to have kids of my own. so I can enjoy being the afternoon low without any of the responsibility. Stronger so kids can fuck right off though. Yes thank you. I am crafty so people always tell me I should have been a Taro vertical bar fuck out of here. I love my kids and some kids in my family and that is enough. Working a 9 to 5. People pretend to like it. What a way to make a living. Beats weird hours or working weekends when your kids or family/friends have things going on. Hello from the meat industry. Do you want to work 5 am to 2 pm or do you want to work 2 pm to 10:30 pm unless it is 11:30 pm and sometimes it is 2:30 am. Guess what? We're working Saturday. Surprise. You get to travel next week. Yes, I know it is Thursday and you need someone to take care of your pets. You're a single mom? Too bad. Oh you had a doctor's appointment? Reschedule that sucker. The Voice. The Masked Singer, or that other one with VR. Every commercial of the Masked Singer with the judges freaking out and trying to guess is enough for me to never watch that show. The Australian version is so much worse. They will guess A-list celebrities like Taylor Swift and it is actually like an A-list celebrity that no one knows. Like yes Taylor Swift is going to come to Australia, quarantine for 2 weeks, and then perform on a stupid show that gets low ratings. Facebook. Everyone who has quit it is happier. I have cut down to once a week for no more than 10 minutes. I feel much better and do not get sucked into drama. I have replaced it with Reddit. So I do not know if that is healthier or not. Lol. On Reddit you do not directly see how most of your friend's grandmas are racist clowns. The taste of hard liquor that is not in a mixed drink. Tequila tastes like pain. Maybe I like the taste of pain. Getting roasted on r/roast. Sincerely, I am too sensitive for that. The fact it kinda has to be entirely based on looks is boring as fuck. That's like 5% of a proper roast. It's mostly edgy 14-year-olds who rephrase the same 3 jokes over and over. Working. My job only requires me to do something for a few hours a week, but I have to be there for 60 hours. I have a nice monitor and my box in my office. A laptop hooked to another monitor with good internet that has no restrictions besides porn. My own refrigerator, hot plate, and blender to make smoothies. Also no one bothers me when there's nothing to do. I love going there. It's like paid vacation all the time. Church on Sunday. Everyone is always like, I'm filled with joy. I love church. You look at the faces. No one's body language says joy. I think everyone is lying to everyone else. No one enjoys it like that. They're all just too afraid to be the first one to say, no I'm not happy today my house burned down we got issues Jesus. Yes, I'm Catholic. I compare it to sitting through the most boring staff meeting ever. Constantly checking the time and waiting for it to be over. I only went to support the family have been in many years now. I, personally, feel pretty good after I go to church. I did something and got out of the house. I get to talk with other people and it just makes me feel better. As vague as that statement may be, of course, I feel this way after mass has ended. During the service I'm bored out of my mind. I like to use the kneel/stand cycle as a gauge for when the Eucharist finally comes out. It can totally be a chore. But I feel pretty good afterwards, so I deal with it. Yes, I'm also Catholic. Existing. Way too dense for me mate. I've been there though. Trust that it'll get better, but you'll have to give the fucking world a fight. Don't go down easy mate. You might actually accidentally find a will to live. While I understand this, I just don't feel like this does any justice. Because it's a cycle of feeling that low and not wanting to exist, and then you find the strength to find a way out. But it's only for so long before you find that darkness again, and I get tired of knowing that. I'm just going to get back to that point. I'm not going to do anything, but I just don't see the strength that this type of language use to bring. But also I'm not saying not to say it to people. Ugh, maybe I'm just venting. Thank you for being a good person either way. Twitter. Nobody likes Twitter. They like attention and drama. Edit. I'm not as bad as Gallo Boob, but I think all karma whores with a million plus karma like us are prime examples of that toxic attention seeking social media behavior. It's not a Twitter thing. I don't like karma whores and I'm one. Getting absolutely fucking wasted to the point you pass out and lose all memory of it the next day. It's a fine line. I don't think anyone wants to black out. But those nights can be amazing up until then. It's not like you forget the whole night. You just forget the last part of it. Not ideal. But often worth the risk. Cake fondant. IPAs. It tastes good once you get used to it. Why not drink a point beer? That just tastes good already. Share or bad luck type shit. You could be my closest friend if you put something like that on my page. 1. Lose some level of respect for you. Grow up. I don't usually do these things, but I have a job interview coming up. Falling for shitty Rocher bait haphazardly thrown together in mispaint isn't going to help. You. Horoscopes, too, but those kinda fall under spiritualistic stuff, which is none of my business. As a teen, I was so gay that I thought all men were pretending to like women to fit in. I could not even fathom how anyone couldn't be so horny over men that your knees tremble. Women did nothing for me, and my feelings were so overwhelming that it was hard to imagine the other guys feeling any other way. I think that is how myself and a lot of other straight guys felt in reverse at a younger age. Especially if you were sheltered like I was. So I totally understand. Edit. Grammar. That's exactly what realized later in life when straight friends refused to believe me when I said I was gay or had a really hard time coming to terms with it. Or talked as if gay people were some strange, unrelatable foreign creatures. I always had a hard time understanding why. Then I remembered my teen days when I ridiculously thought straight people didn't exist, and it clicked. NFTs. NFTs were the moment I realized that I was old. I still don't exactly get what the fuck they are, or what they're for, or why people spend what appears to be tons of money on them. No amount of googling has helped. Lol. NFTs are the digital equivalent of a wealthy person buying a painting for millions of dollars. Children as art. My 4-year-old son drew a picture of me and him. It's horrible. But I love it. The fact he likes me enough to draw us together makes it worth framing his garage quality art. When my daughter was about that age, if ever we'd go exploring in the neighborhood or a park, or even if I took her to some event or attraction, I'd always say we were going on an adventure. That was just the word I used. So anyway, one day she just decides to draw a picture of a big stick figure and a little stick figure holding hands and wrote "Adventures Forever" below it. I don't know. Writing it out now, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it's bar none the best thing anyone has ever given me. I'm kinda getting misty eyed just thinking about it. Anyway, now she's a teenager and don't do shit anymore. Edit. Primarily referring to my fellow US folks. So many people say that they loved the British version of The Office way before the US version started. My guess is that the majority of people who say this have not even seen the British version. IDK why I feel so strongly about this. But I do. I am British and The Office was amazing when it came out. I do love the US Office too. To me they are two completely different shows. Squid Game. Don't get me wrong, it's good. But not so good that everyone is gaga over it. I feel like 60% people like it due to peer pressure or to be included. IDK. I started watching it because it seemed to be creepy and directed well. The appeal is for multiple reasons. Desperation, the fear of debt, and how people are willing to do anything for money. We are slaves to the paycheck, owned by the corporations employing us, and just pawns to the 1%. Coworkers. I'd guess that a vast amount of people probably dislike most of their coworkers and have to phone it in just to get through the day. To not get a bad performance review, or to get ahead. I'm gonna say Drake. Nobody that likes his shit has anything substantial or real to say about it. Just some poser who makes music for the year I'm hip with the times. People. And this is coming from a big hip hop head lol. Sort of the exact opposite, but please let me put it here. Everyone hating images on Reddit. Like I hate when people put 50 images in one sentence, but you don't need to downvote someone just because they used an emoji once.